Everyone wanted to date her in the 1970s. This is her recently. In the 1970s, these gorgeous, iconic women led the Billboard listings, sold out movie theaters, and launched a movement that liberated women worldwide. Their posters can still be found in bedrooms, vintage movie theaters, and film and television museums worldwide. Where are they now? And have their iconic appearances endured? Join us on a voyage back to the 1970s. Candace Bergen, I Live to Eat Now. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, Candace was a high fashion model. She was featured on prominent magazine covers, including Vogue. She established a flourishing acting career in the 1980s, which she's maintained to the present day. She continues to accept roles in films, typically portraying the same character, a haughty, affluent, overbearing, and excessively involved mother figure. Candace is conversant in French, and she claims that while her peers are preoccupied with maintaining their weight, she's becoming increasingly enamored of cuisine. Jane Seymour is still as gorgeous as ever. Jane rose to prominence in 1973 when she was cast as a Bond girl in the James Bond film Live and Let Die. She's been acting since then. Jane began a parallel profession as an author later in life. She's authored 4 books and co-authored a children's book series with her ex-husband, James Keach. Jane is a prominent ambassador for the nonprofit organization Child Help, which is dedicated to rescuing neglected and abused children. Goldie Hawn looks amazing for 72. In the 1970s alone, Goldie Hawn starred in 9 motion pictures. In 1969, she won both the Academy Award and the Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actress in the film Cactus Flower. This is where her fame actually began. In the early 2000s, she served as an executive producer for a number of films. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, she maintained her career. Goldie founded the Hawn Foundation in 2003, which provides educational programs to enhance the academic performance of struggling students, most of whom live in destitution. The foxy Pam Greer. In the 1970s, Pam starred in 8 films, the most renowned of which was Foxy Brown, and she has not slowed down. Her acting career was consistent throughout the first decade of the 21st century until she decided to abandon film to pursue more personal objectives. Pam completed 2 doctoral programs and established the Pam Greer Community Garden and Education Center in 2011. Fox about! Cher, the original boho. Has Cher matured in any way? She's just as much a deity as she was in her past. Cher entertained 30 million viewers per week during the 1970s on the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour. She also maintained a successful solo music career, topping the Billboard Hot 100 multiple times. Cher continues to tour, her aesthetic is timeless, and her voice is unparalleled. She's also politically active and a sought-after keynote speaker for LGBT events and rallies. Bo Derek and that famous poster. Bo Derek's transition to recognition occurred in the 1979 film 10, starring her. After that, she became a sex icon in the United States, publishing a series of posters depicting her in swimsuit with her braided hair that continued to sell. Bo Derek's acting career and sexual allure remained in high demand until the early 2000s. Bo Derek is such a fervent advocate for disabled veterans that she is the National Honorary Chairperson for Veterans Affairs National Rehabilitation Special Events. Faye Dunaway, I'm Kind of a Loner. In the 1960s, Faye began her career on Broadway and soon transitioned to the silver screen. Bonnie and Clyde made my career, said Faye. The film was released in 1967. In the 1970s, Faye starred in 10 additional films. She's gone on to win every award imaginable multiple times. This year, Faye worked on 2 unreleased films, and she recently reunited with Warren Beatty at the 89th Academy Awards as Bonnie and Clyde. Faye stated in a recent interview, "Some people like romantic partners, but I'd rather be alone and work." Erin Gray was worth it. Erin entered the modeling industry at age 15, and by the mid-1970s, she'd become one of America's top television models. Prior to entering the acting industry, she signed contracts with L'Oreal and Bloomingdale's. Throughout the subsequent decades, she starred in a multitude of film and television roles. Stevie Nicks, the queen of rock and roll. Stevie joined Fleetwood Mac in 1975 and helped the band sell 40 million copies of their album, making it the 5th best-selling album of all time. Her unique vocal technique propelled her to a highly successful solo career. Belladonna, her debut album, was certified platinum in less than 3 months. Stevie went on to release 8 more acclaimed albums. 2014 marked the publication of her most recent album, 24 Karat Gold, Songs from the Vault. Our Angel, Jacqueline Smith. 1976 saw the introduction of Jacqueline Smith as one of Charlie's Angels. Since then, she's had a very successful career, but primarily in TV features and TV programs, not on the big screen. She was cast in CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, and Law & Order SVU after a number of years without a television appearance. Jacqueline is also an entrepreneur. She launched a clothing line through Kmart in the late 1980s and a wig line in 2008. She's been credited with encouraging celebrities to develop their own identities instead of endorsing others. Sweet, Sweet Sally. Sally Field starred in the 1973 to 1974 television series The Girl with Something Extra before moving on to feature films in the late 1970s. By 1979, Norma Rae earned her the Academy Award for the Finest Actress. In the early 2000s, Sally continued her successful film career. In 2014, she was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In the past few years, Sally's been one of the loudest advocates for women's rights. She's a member of the board of directors for Vital Voices Global Partnership, a global women's advocacy organization. Dolly Parton is immortal. Dolly Parton began her music career in the 1960s, but it wasn't until the 1970s that she reached her commercial apex with the song Jolene. It's evolved into a timeless song that new artists cover every year. Dolly has composed and performed all types of music, including country, mainstream, and bluegrass. In 2016, she had a very successful tour and re-released Jolene. Last year, Dolly appeared as a guest on the popular singing competition The Voice, where she performed Jolene with the Pentatonics. Diane Keaton's long, successful film career. Diane's first significant film role was in The Godfather, and her subsequent collaborations with Woody Allen helped propel her career. Annie Hall, her 4th film, earned her the Academy Award for Best Actress. It was not the last award she received. Today, she continues to star in film productions. She has 2 adopted children and considers motherhood to be the most completely humbling experience of her life. Cybill Shepherd, a goddess worshiper. Cybill Shepherd began modeling as an adolescent, and the cover of Glamour magazine helped her secure her first film role in The Last Picture Show. She appeared in additional roles throughout the 1970s and continued acting into the 1980s. Intriguingly, Cybill has characterized herself as a Christian, pagan, Buddhist deity worshiper. Heather Locklear. In the 1970s, Heather Locklear was undoubtedly one of the most sought-after women in Hollywood, and everyone seemed to want to date her. With her striking beauty, undeniable charisma, and a talent that shone both on television and in film, Locklear quickly became an icon of her era. Her roles in popular TV shows like Dynasty and T.J. Hooker catapulted her into the limelight, making her a household name and a favorite among viewers. In those days, her every move and appearance captured the public's attention, making her a symbol of the glamorous and alluring Hollywood lifestyle. Fast forward to today, and while Heather Locklear may have aged gracefully, her allure remains undiminished. Her presence continues to exude that same charm and magnetism that once made her the object of desire for many, proving that some things truly do get better with time.